this is my beer right here. Oh my goodness.
Can't believe it. Where did all this stuff used to live before?
9 months out of the year, you can't be using that pool.
That if you swim in it, you're going to die of a brain-eating amoeba.
Whoa, look, here it goes. The gate just opened 5 days ago. I didn't know who these two people were. I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. My channel is Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. And what we're doing is going around England and vlogging certified aquascape contractor ponds. But this guy, John, and his wife, Caroline, John's Natural Swimming Pool Journey on Instagram came up in my feed. I saw this incredible water feature that they built. I saw that they were following me. It got recommended, so I reached out to them and they said, come on by. So here we are to go record John's Natural Swimming Pool Journey. I love my job. Is that fair? Yeah, hey fair. And you're Caroline. We got good energy.
So nice to meet you.
God,
nice to meet you. Yeah, very well, very well. Nice to see you.
Thank you for this hospitality. This is great. It's called John's Natural Swimming Pool.
Oh, it is.
Yours too, right?
Honestly, I
she's the
do on
filmmaker.
social media.
Yeah, we put her in front of the camera and you dig the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll do the hard work.
How fun is this? What a vista.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. Well, I usually say when I see a pond that I love a 10 out of 10, but this one I'm going to say 100 out of 10. Weren't you like in retail or something? This wasn't even, you're not a contractor.
No,
you were a retailer.
No, retailer.
Oh, you guys, you have just hit
like
it out.
it?
No, I
It's so
love
good.
it.
It's
And I
so
see you're banned for swimming.
Yeah.
So you can
Oh,
just,
yes,
yeah.
you can do the length.
Quite hard work actually doing that.
Okay, I was telling John, normally Caroline, I tell people when I love their pond 10 out of 10, I'm giving you 100 out
Oh
of
my
10.
God, I'm going to go and get you a beer. Who wants a drink?
Cider.
Anybody? Cider. I've got cider.
I would like us, but hold on. This is my
down.
beer right here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, ignore the fence. Look at the fence.
So is this 3 years old now?
Fine.
No, it's probably when did I do it? It started in about 2018-19, just before the pandemic, wasn't
It's
it?
5 years old.
Yeah.
Pretty, isn't it?
No, it's gorgeous. It's spectacular. And you got our biofalls.
Yeah.
You bought something from
I
Aquascape.
did.
I love to
Yeah,
see
well, that's
it.
only a temporary thing, and I haven't really changed it yet. It was.
Okay, so there's a small mini Aquascape biofalls. You know what? We'll fix that up after dinner.
Yeah.
So there's your regen zone, right?
Yeah, all round.
So I love how you got the high grasses right alongside the deck because it this
Frames it up.
it really frames it out nicely. You got great sound. Look at the house, how beautiful. How old is the house?
Oh, 1840, I think it's starting.
1840 house and a 5-year-old
But
natural
they
swimming
fit.
pool.
They sort of work
Natural
together.
swimming pool fits with the 1840 house. This would not look right with a traditional swimming
Oh,
pool.
no, 100%.
Oh.
And this was supposed to look like the back of the ship was my sort of impressionist view of...
I'm getting emotional.
Are you? Well, that's nice to hear.
I am so proud that you guys did this on your own journey, which I've now completely become addicted to after
good.
not knowing about you 5 years.
Right.
And if this is what people should have.
I know.
Yeah, I agree.
And so my frustration and where I'm getting emotional at is so many people would put a traditional swimming pool in an 1840s home and there's no way it would look 100 as beautiful and fit in the space as this is. There's not a human being alive that would come into this yard and not be like, wow, because they're not used to seeing this, and yet this is how we grew up.
Yeah.
We evolved swimming in biological bodies of lakes and rivers and streams, and yet everybody puts chemical pools with chlorine or bromine in their backyards when this is what they should be doing.
100%.
And you're proving that you
100%.
guys could do it.
100%, yeah.
And it's life-changing, having it. Really is.
It's spectacular. Can I swim in it?
Oh, God,
you can.
yeah.
So after dinner, I'm going for a dip.
100%.
So you were telling me the riding lawnmower got old. It was a novelty for a little bit.
Yeah, so the initial idea, I always wanted a house where I could actually have or justify having a ride-on lawnmower, which I finally achieved, thankfully. And then after about a couple of years of that and wouldn't start, always breaking down, I was sick of having a ride-on lawnmower. But I've always liked water, water and being near water. Anyway, no one's ever going in the garden, got sick of cutting grasses, so I was going to put a basic pond in.
What was the book that you found?
Oh, I had a load of them. I've got DIY to Building Natural Swimming Pool. There's another one by an online guy, David Pagan, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, David Pagan, very popular British guy.
Yeah, so there's quite a few different players. Anyway, I started researching it. I thought, actually, it can't be that difficult. Anyway, full of enthusiasm, I thought this will only take me a month. I had to build a big ramp. As you can see, we're down sort of another story here from ground level, so I had to get a digger down here. So I had to build a big ramp down the side there, bought a load of scaffolding, got a digger down and just started digging. And then, yeah, a year later...
Well, did it keep getting bigger and bigger,
yeah,
like expanding?
Well, I didn't really know what I was doing, and you know, it's like when you sort of, you know, I thought, oh my God, what have I done? Literally, the whole garden looked like a bloody building site, and what I forgot is, stupidly, as you dig, earth expands massively.
Yes.
So suddenly I've got mountains of earth everywhere, and I thought, oh my God, there's a lot more than I thought.
Yes.
And also, I hadn't quite appreciated naively, the further you go out, the higher the bunga's got to be down the end there.
There was an angle, so slope over angle. Mm-hmm.
So then I'd lose all this soil, and and then over time I got the grips with it, learnt it, enjoyed it, the whole learning, building. But it's a big risk at the time, nervous that I'm going to end up with a bloody great swamp and a dirty, stinking, rotten mess in the garden.
Which is not what happened.
So yeah, so that was it. So and everyone again literally think I was absolutely barking mad. I mean, the neighbour suddenly, you know, I used to meet him eye to eye over the fence, and now he now sees my feet as the ground slopes away.
Up. Yeah, but you had it and you built it.
But it worked, and it was really enjoyed it actually, and it's bizarre because with having your own business and you're busy, you know, doing stuff on paper and the stress of running your own business.
This is your therapy.
You come down here and you just do stuff with your hands, and it's physical, and it's really
rewarding
massively. And you can see you work hard and you see some progress, which is nice. And actually, the weird thing was, I just finished it, then the whole lockdown thing started, and you know, I had a big chain of retail stores and all the stress of worrying about how we're going to pay the rents, a lot of staff.
Oh God, yeah.
And I thought, well, actually, the whole world's in the same space, and I literally just came down there, sat there, the sun came out, and I'm like, well, if I die tomorrow, it ain't too bad. So,
and I think that says it all. Fantastic. Good on you, mate. Cheers.
So that was it. So strange old story, isn't it? How life takes you on these journeys sometimes.
And now I'm in your backyard having a cider. I love it.
Don't you think it's weird?
It's fantastic.
And it's amazing how actually Caroline documenting it, because I would never have done any
on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah. So actually now looking back at the record of it, you forget the journey you've been on. And how suddenly, how things again with, you know, selling your business, finding peace down here, and everyone gets stressed, you just get in the pond, have a little chill out, and actually everything seems all right.
Amen. All is good with the world. That's about as good as you could put it right there, and I could not agree more with you.
Yeah, and I think that's how the power of nature may be. And actually, again, what I can't believe is, where did all this stuff used to live before? So
build it and they will come. And nature comes back versus amazing. The lawn, which grass is the #1 agricultural crop in the world with the least actual economic value. It's just maintenance, all that grass is. And when you restore nature, nature comes.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, literally teeming with newts that is. I mean, come in April, I mean, literally there will be, well, almost thousands, I would say, of little newts in there, you know, the whole rest of it. So I'm like, well, where have they all been living before?
Yeah, I mean, the newts, the birds, the frogs, the plants, you know, everything. It's so much natural. And your neighbors over here, I look at, they have a traditional swimming pool.
Covered.
Now you guys tell me it's covered right now. Yeah, you tell me, would you like this in your yard in nature or that? Now listen, pools are beautiful, but we're in England. 9 months out of the year, you can't be using that pool where you can use this 12 months out of the year. Did you hear that, John? 9 months out of the year, they can't use their pool.
Well, less than that.
This is 12 months out of the year, you get enjoyment from this.
Yeah, the reality is that's probably used, I would say, 4 or 5 times a year when it's hot. And normally England is not that hot. Right. It has been recently. Whereas here, even in the winter, it's beautiful, has a whole different feel.
Yeah, every day it changes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
4 or 5 times a year the neighbors get in the pool, and this thing is 365 days a year. There's something enjoyable to look at because it's a recreation pond. You don't have to be swimming in it to enjoy it. It's incredible. That one fertilized right away. That one is completely under fertilized. This one looks pretty decent,
Yeah.
but there's 3 in there in the other ones.
But they're better in pots with soil or in the gravel.
Or as long as they're getting enough nutrients out of the gravel.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
where it depends.
Yeah.
So this is the life that we're living right now,
Oh,
right?
this is amazing, this life.
Beer, sun,
Dog,
dogs.
me, you, amazing.
So what would you say to other people that are thinking about, well, first of all, not too many people would be this industrious to be able to create something like this, but are thinking about having one of these. How would you describe the lifestyle to others?
It's completely life-changing. So John and I would very rarely go into the garden. Now we're out here with our kids. We have sort of evening parties out round by the pond. Being around nature is so uplifting, really, isn't it? Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, where would you rather be? I mean, you've got water, we've got sun, we've got mint. I mean, it's just a great social space, as opposed to a lawn, which is full of weeds you've got to keep cutting. And actually, on the maintenance on this, it looks a lot, but it's nothing. I swear to goodness, all we ever do is we chop all this back probably in about November time. I don't even take the leaves out, actually. So the leaves fall in, I cut all the stuff back, leave it, and then come the spring again, it sort of comes back to life. And it's better. I mean, it's weird.
But this was really John's idea.
Yeah, I had no idea he was going to do it. I mean, he just literally came home one day and said, I've seen a book, I want to build a natural swimming pool in the garden. But the thing is, I love that. I love that about John. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, we had years of...
So you had faith in him?
I have total faith in him. I mean,
nice.
at times I didn't. Am I lying? No, in the winter when he first started digging it and mud was traipsing through the house.
Oh God, the mud. Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew he would pull it off, but it did take a long time and we had to wait for the rain to fill it.
Yep.
Because obviously couldn't put tap water in.
Again, all the nutrients in tap water very quickly turns it to a dirty, horrible mess.
Yep.
So I thought rather than risk that, I just let it fill up naturally with rainwater, which it did. Well,
How long did that take? We are in England.
well, there is a bit of a story there because I kept thinking, well, why is the rain? It's been raining so much in England, but I could never seem to get the thing full. And then I realised, stupidly, I had a bit of a leak by the overflow.
He had a leak.
Okay.
He had a leak.
Fix
So
that.
it was draining out.
Yeah.
Fixed that, and of course it filled up in England very quickly thereafter.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we always say is we say if you want to save money, hire a professional to do it.
Yeah.
Because it'll be done a lot sooner. But if it's you're a hobbyist and it's therapy, who cares? You're enjoying it. And so you're going to have little mistakes like the leaks or things like that.
Yeah.
But it was all part of your learning process.
Yeah, and
But-
the journey was amazing. The journey of the kind of enormity of the job and the fact that every day I'd look out and I was kind of helpful in the fact that I would just like bring the beer and the wine. But it was like such a long process. It's very bonding as a couple.
Yes, I love it. Well,
Yeah.
you know, this is how I got my start, building my first pond for my turtles.
Yeah.
And, you know, my parents supported me. I said, all I need is a strong back, a wheelbarrow, and a shovel. And
Yeah,
as a
amazing.
12-year-old kid, I already got a wheelbarrow and a shovel, and that was it, you know.
Yeah.
And I went at it. I made every mistake possible.
Yeah.
And I ripped it out and rebuilt it 7 times before it was finally done
Don't
right.
you think that makes you love the pot? And for us, we love this because we know the whole
You're
5-year
invested,
journey
yeah.
of it. We're invested in it.
100%. So what is the biggest misperceptions? Because, you know, you have your John's Natural Swimming Pool journey,
Yeah.
you know, on Instagram, which we'll put a link to. But what are the biggest misperceptions that people have, you know, with this that I've heard you address a number of them
Yeah.
on your channel?
Well, the main one is that if you swim in it, you're going to die of a brain-eating amoeba.
Hey, 54 years old right here. I've been swimming since I was 12.
Yeah, and how do you let your 90-year-old mother swim in it when it's going to kill her? It's
Yeah.
like, actually, it's not going to kill her. We've been swimming in it for 6 years. So,
Yes.
so many. Will it fill up with crocodiles? Will you get...
Actually, you should ask an American the questions you get asked by the Americans
Okay,
about the pond.
I'm going to ask you the question.
Yes.
So the biggest question is, will you get snapping turtles? Now, we're in the UK, so it's a ridiculous question.
I would say the bigger the body, like something like this, it could happen, but it's so rare.
Yeah.
Anything could happen, right?
In
And
the
if
US, yeah,
And
not
first of
here.
all, a snapping turtle would never bother you.
No.
It would run away from you. They don't attack you,
Yeah.
right? So how about this? I had a pond, a 1-acre pond for 1999 till 2021, so 22 years,
Yeah.
and there was never a snapping turtle in it once.
Yeah.
I had Midland painted turtles that would come.
Alligator?
No, Midland
No, but
painted.
have you ever had an alligator?
No, not in Chicago. No alligators in Chicago.
We get
Well,
ourselves.
they think that we get them in
Yeah, in the
England.
UK.
And snapping turtles. We're like, no, we don't
No, we
get
don't.
them. So the biggest question, I guess, is do you have to wash the sun cream off when you get in? So we don't. We just go, it doesn't really affect the balance
No, it
of
seems
the
to work.
It's so diluted in a pond this big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. And then they say, did John do it all and did you do anything, Caroline?
Okay. Well, I did see you had some mates to help you spread the liner.
Yeah, that was our kids.
Oh, they're bloody heavy. Yeah, I hadn't quite realised how heavy those liners are, particularly when you've got to bring them over the balcony
yes.
there. So some of the major challenges were just the sheer logistics of the site. As you may be able to tell, we're literally 1 story below ground here, so everything had to come down literally via those steps, and I had to build a ramp down there, as you can probably see. And before we had the pond, this was all very much grass, which took quite a bit of maintenance actually in terms of cutting the grass very regularly. So that's how it all started. And the trouble with these things, you don't actually quite realise when you start digging how much material comes out. And the machine I had down here was relatively small, and the reach on the digger couldn't actually get to the bottom of the hole, so I had to construct yet another ramp to get to the bottom of the hole and then scoop out the mud. Again, all took a lot longer than I thought. The other major challenge was, as you can probably notice by the fence, sorry about the fence, that is actually my neighbour's, and I did actually vow to replace it a couple of years ago, haven't actually done it yet. The way the ground slopes away from the house, so you have to then support the far end there, and I was a bit concerned with the amount of water would end up breaking, so I had to reinforce that with quite a bit of extra material. And then what I wanted was a walkway all the way around the pond to help frame it. I didn't just want a pond that sat there, I wanted to make more like a leisure experience, multi-layered, working with the slope. And if you can see the back here, this was sort of an impressionist view of the back of a boat was my sort of thought process, with the water trickling down through a variety of different reeds and plants into the sort of swimming zone. So the middle bit is very much a swimming area, and if you actually swim a circuit round there, it's about 25 metres or so, which actually is a pretty good workout. And again, use it all year round. Winter, cold bathing very much in vogue at the moment, which again I can thoroughly recommend, and in a great day like this it's perfect. And then round the outside we have a regeneration zone. Underneath that is a series of pipes that draw water through the rocks and gravel and recirculate back through an airlift system actually in this particular case to help filter water. So this whole regeneration zone acts like a big biological filter, breaking down the nutrients and cleaning the water effectively. And you may notice there's a small biofalls over there. That was very much an experiment actually, just to try and improve the sound. It doesn't really do a huge amount of filtration because it's relatively small, and that was my first minimal attempt at putting a water feature in. But over time I'll probably put a bigger one and set it back a bit and do that a bit properly. And over in the far corner there is a skimmer with different types of skimmers, just to try and take out some of the debris, just to reduce the maintenance. But yeah, that's more or less it. And as you see, the walkway goes all the way around. I wanted to link up a diving platform with a bit of a walk through tall grass, which helps frame the diving board. And as you see, I'm quite into shabby chic really. That was an old repurposed gazebo turned into a sauna. I quite like that sort of old shabby chic type look, I have to say. And then as you look down over the pond, you have a sort of diving area. You can access the pond either way, and then going down the garden. Again, we try and keep things quite naturalistic, basically because I'm a terrible gardener and don't like spending hours working. I just want to enjoy. And this is very much an entertaining space now. It's quite lifestyle. As you can see, we've got the upper terrace there where we often have fires and social gatherings. We've got the hot tub, and then coming into the natural pool. This was the wood-fired sauna, minus the door at the moment, which is a slight issue I've got, but it can be resolved. Yeah, and then some of the biggest challenges is just playing with levels. Again, having no idea about landscaping, building per se, it's actually hard to keep thinking in 3D, particularly when you've got a big digger and miles of earth everywhere. As you can see in some of the pictures, it's amazing when soil comes out, how it expands rapidly. So yeah, my biggest worry with all of this was getting the levels right, because again I didn't have any specialist tools. I pretty much did it all with a level, and I did actually make myself a little water level at one point, which wasn't very good, and I did invest in a very cheap laser from Amazon at one point. It cost me about 30 quid, and lots of lumps of wood and spirit levels. Yeah, and a lot of head scratching, but actually very therapeutic actually in terms of trying to figure it all out. I suppose that was the sort of engineer in me. So yeah, here we are back at the house.